Welcome back to Versus coverage of the NASCAR Southern Whelen Modified Tour, the Tri County 150. Jimmy, they have fired the engines. It's a 19-car strong field that will go to post this evening. Now, in pole position qualifying, really a great performance by George Brunhusel III. But it is also a situation where, because of the redraw, we've got an interesting starting lineup. Let's get right to it. After the redraw, taking a look at who will start on the pole, it will be Johnny Sutton of Harrisburg, North Carolina. Starting on the outside is Brian Lofton. Now, Sutton, interestingly enough, we'll have to wait and see. He has chosen the inside lane. Second row, Heyer and Myers. And Myers is one of those guys that you definitely want to take a good, hard look at. Let's go to the third row. There's one of the Myers brothers, and James Savali, who is on top of the points right now.
And not the best spot to be in tonight.
Let's take a look at our eyes on Kelly Stavitz. You've got your eyes on old number one, don't you?
That's right. That's Bert Myers in the number one car. And Jack, not only has he raced here a handful of times, but he did 250 laps of testing here last Friday. He wasn't too excited about that 10th place qualifying run, but he's confident he will have a good car in the long run. He says the car seems to stay really comfortable, and he'd gladly sacrifice a good qualifying for the race. Now, he told me he wanted to be in the top 5 or 6 early on, and guess what, Jack? He's starting 5th.
Now, my eyes on is back there in the next row. That's George Brunhusel III. Georgie is the defending champion of the Southern Modified Tour, the Whelen Southern Modified Tour, having a one-off, and he could play a significant role in the outcome of the points chase this season. Let's go to row number 5. Row number 5 finds Miller and Fleming. Fleming, we all are taking a good hard look at, moving to Miller, and that's your eyes-on guy.
That's my eyes-on guy, Jack. And I think that LW, you know, he has a lot to prove. He had a drastic week in Langley, Virginia, and I think that he's the type of driver. We saw him get aggressive at Bowman Gray. We saw him get aggressive at Caraway, and I think he'll get aggressive tonight. Can he save his tires? But I think that my eyes-on guy could win this race.
Yeah, and you take a look at the rest of the field. Johnny K. Kiveman is known as Johnny K. in the 8 car, moving back into the 7th row. And this is where some of the guys that start. Gene Pack, who has won here back in the Southern Modified Auto Racing Tour. In fact, the last winner of a modified race here back in 1999. Row 9 will take us down to the remainder of the field. And Mike Norman, a big disappointment in his qualifying there. He will start in post position number 18, and Donnie Lax will bring the field down. It looks like we are about ready to go green. Taking a look at the weather, Jimmy, all of a sudden threatening thunderstorms. If you're the crew chief, do you rethink your strategy?
Yeah, you tell the driver to go as fast as he can. Think he stole it, Jackie, because this race will become official at 75 laps. Now, that could be a detriment if it doesn't rain. So when you play in the weather game, anytime in any sport, you've got to always remember, you play your hand too early, you can get trumped.
Like we say up north, and let's put some biscuits and gravy on it. Grandma, put your teeth in your pocketbook. We're about to go racing Mod Squad style. One belongs to Brian Lofton, but I'm noticing James Savali looking very, very racy, trying to knock on the Myers number 4.
Jason Myers, very strong, but Savali did the same thing at Langley 2 weeks ago. Very aggressive early. Oh, we got a spinner in turn 4, the 47 of Andy Seiss.
That could have some big-time ramifications in the chase, in the points chase, because as we said, this is the 9th of 10 races. Yellow comes out for the first time this evening. Andy Seiss refires. He will take his position up at the rear of the field.
And getting back to what I was saying about James Savali, this guy, Jackie, bam, right through the field, 4 or 5 tenths quicker than anybody, gets to the lead, but you know what? Tim Brown closes in at the end. Can that happen again tonight? Right now, it looks like Savali's got the car. Only 3 laps into the race, though.
But I got to go back to this weather situation. That threat of scattered thunderstorms, they did start this race about 15 minutes earlier than they had anticipated, strictly because of a very scary weather forecast on the radar. And when you're dealing with these cars, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for a modified. It's not your typical NASCAR car. It's lighter. It uses much wider tires. And you talk about RPM. Well, maybe it's not as big as a Sprint Cup, but I'll tell you what, when you've got that horsepower to weight ratio, Jimmy, these things, you've driven them, they're pocket rockets.
And Jackie, the biggest thing I believe is the weight and the height of the cars. You know, the Whelen Modified Tour, about 41 inches off the ground. The Nextel Sprint Cup car, NASCAR Sprint Cup car, about 51 inches and 51.5 inches wide, 83 inches wide. So there's a lot of difference in the width and the height and the weight. So big differences.
Let's see if we can get a quick update on the weather and on track conditions from car number 79, the points leader. James Savali, Jack Root, and Jimmy Spencer up in the booth. Weather conditions, threatening weather. Have you and the Hillbilly Racing team changed your strategy at all?
We're on the same strategy. We want to get to the front early and lead the most laps. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot easier if this race gets shortened up, but we got the same strategy so far.
What about the early race conditions? Jimmy was talking about tire management. You seem to be sticking down on the low side pretty good.
Yeah, the car's good. We're just going to get after it here and see if we can get out front.
All right, we'll talk to you later. You're about ready to get back to green. You got to let's reset the field. Right now, Brian Lofton on the brake, and he's elected to start on the outside. Johnny Sutton will find himself on the inside lane. We were talking about Jason Myers in row number 2. He's the black car with the 4. Flanking him on the outside is the guy we just talked to, Savali. And then it's the 44 of Brandon Heyer and Bert Myers on the outside. Now, as they start to come up through the gearbox, here's what you got to watch, too, right, Jimmy? Traction when you get these restarts coming up through the gears.
Yeah, we're going to get the green flag here. You got to get a good restart, get the thing shifted into high gear as quickly as you can.
Savali goes to the high side.
Good racing right now, Jackie. Savali powers off the back straightaway.
There's that bumper tag.
I love the bumper tag, my best friend. Savali aggressively shoots to the outside of Lofton. Now to the bottom of the racetrack and makes the pass. I'm telling you what, this car is doing the same thing he did in Langley. This thing is stout tonight.
And I'm telling you what, you're a pretty good play-by-play man. I began to think that maybe Brian Lofton was going to try and do a swap-over move, but just couldn't get the reins in on that 650 horsepower. Now the black number 1 of Myers, Bert Myers, has moved into the 3rd position. An awful lot of racing in the early going.
This track warrants good racing. We see the banking in the corner, the 2 wide racing, these modifieds putting on a great show right now. But this track, allowing this to happen, and this is what I love about short track racing. You can race 2 or 3 wide. Here's 3 wide coming off of turn 2. This is exciting, Jackie.
Well, L.W. Miller, I would think, is beginning to feel a little bit of pressure because he looks out in front and he sees some of the key guys. Seiss is coming from the back. He has moved up 1 position, but he sees Savali, his nemesis, going hammer and tong for the lead with Lofton in the 23, and he says, time to go.
And the thing about LW, he has had some success this year. He seemed to falter last week when we raced at Langley, but tonight, car looks like it's on its game. Another guy moving up right there is a 25 of John Smith. Caution again.
Caution for
Zach Brewer in
for the Brewer car, the Phoenix car. 2nd caution of the evening. With 12 laps in the record books. And while we are under caution, we are going to go away. But as we said before, there's plenty of racing to come here on Versus. Still under caution.
All right, we're getting ready.
And we are ready to go back to green. 2nd caution of the evening. 17 laps are in the record books. They do side by side. They're getting ready with James Savali and Brian Lofton in row number 1. Look at Frank Fleming.
He's moved all the way up to 3rd, Jack, and that's been impressive. He has raced a modified here before.
Creeping. A green flag is out. They will start dive and going onto the inside. Look at L.W. Miller. Right down on the low side. Rim riding out. He gets by Fleming and now moves into that 4th position. Or does he?
He does clear Fleming. No, he doesn't. Fleming coming back on the outside again off of 4.
The beauty of this racetrack, at least what I see thus far, is you have a choice of grooves.
There's no question of this racetrack. Very impressed with the way the drivers can go low and high and stay that whole way through the corner. Very neat little deal. But now we have a challenge again. Back for the lead.
James Savali on the high side, but rim riding down low is that 23 of Brian Lofton, and he is not going away. He is a pesky driver out of Lexington, North Carolina, 33 years old, works for L&R Transmission, and he is still there, but now he's being challenged by Bert Myers on the high side. Myers seems to have an advantage, and then it goes away.
And what's interesting is Lofton is maintaining that lower groove, which I believe is a little bit harder on his tires, Jack.
Things get a little busy when you're in the hunt and you're in the thick of it. We're going to eavesdrop on L.W. Miller's spotter as he tries to work Miller through this heavy race traffic. He is on the rear bumper, going to the inside, trying to get to the inside of Fleming. Started in the ninth spot. You can see he's currently up there in fifth, looking for an angle, much like a football player or a quarterback. He's trying to find. You see, he gets a little crossed up coming out of the corner, but Fleming has got just enough.
Clear on the inside up to the 23, but you don't get up there to him. You're going to get a block, so I'd just stay behind the 40.
That's just where I was going to go. You got to look at it and you say to yourself, hey, there's a moving pickup there in Fleming.
Right rear out there.
And you're hearing him telling the spotter, saying that we're starting to burn right rears up. These cars, a lot of power.
5 on your inside quarter. You're clear.
By the way, during the caution, George Brunhosel III went down onto pit road, and he made a major chassis change.
Now all at once, Jack, as we look, we used to have 4 guys. Now we have 5 with Miller in there. Now we have another guy stuck his nose in, Johnny Smith in a 25. Now we have a 6-car battle, and here comes Myers, Jason Myers, making it a 7-car battle. This is great racing right now.
I think it's a great testimony to not repaving a track, going high and losing a lot of traction, and getting Smith getting by him is the 40 car of Fleming. He had worked so hard, and he sees it all go up in smoke there for a second.
Well, I'm one that I think that for a driver, they would like to see new pavement, but as a fan, I like seeing racing like this. This is very challenging to the crew members and the driver.
Yeah, but as a promoter, I'm going to point to you drivers and say, hey, you see this kind of racing?
Darn right. It's good racing right now. Southern Modified put on great racing. This is one of the best ones I've seen all year long.
And I'm impressed with Brian Lofton.
Yes. Staying down on the bottom, giving them plenty of room to Savali and Myers on the outside, but being persistent on the bottom. And you know what? He keeps inching ahead. So very intense racing right now.
Last win for Lofton came back in August of 09. He has 11 victories.
Come on down. You there? Come on. There you go.
That's a jockey taking the whip to it. L.W. Miller gets by Myers. Now he tries to tackle Lofton. Lofton, I think, might be a little tougher.
He has cleared Myers now. He's starting to move up. He wants to get back to the high side, keep his tires underneath him. But what we're starting to see now is these guys starting to sort their car out. They know what they've got. We got 31 laps completed.
Don't do it. He knocked the shit out of you. We're good.
Myers decided that he wasn't happy with what L.W. done, so he gave him a little love tap.
No, as the spotter said, he knocked the crap out of him. Hey, everything's rough and tumble in modified racing.
The modifieds, the one thing about the modifieds, they've always been prone to bump and shove one another, but we see L.W. did bump him, but he's pulling away, and he's putting a lot of pressure on Lofton right now. He's taking Lofton's groove. So to me, I don't think Myers should be upset. I think L.W. is on the move right now. He's making good use of it as he moves into second.
He moves into second. Savali is your leader. Lofton is beginning to fade. Keep your eye on the left part of your screen. Now moving to the right side. Down on the inside, that 25.
I was talking to John Smith before the race, and he's doing a great job. He told me that he thought his car was going to be really good on long runs. He's moved himself up to 4th position right now.
Employed at Richard Childress Racing. In fact, this might be an appropriate time as L.W. Miller makes a challenge on the inside. Now let's see if he can make it stick. Oh, he walked
it off. The old slide job. That was impressive. That was an old Richie Evans move. Now Savali coming back with the same move. Oh, yes, this is great racing right now. Savali not happy with what L.W. does. He's returning the favor to L.W.
You see, he can go up about a half a groove and take him right out of his rhythm, take him right out of the grippy part of the racetrack, and that's what Savali did.
The hole will close up in about a lap or two. Stay out there behind you, or if you want to run the outside, stay there.
Again, that is L.W. Miller's spotter who's working him on the outside. That's the 36 that is challenging James Savali for the lead here in the Tri County 100 and for the championship in 2010 here on the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour. Oh, you love to hear that if you're a driver, don't you?
The greatest word you can hear as a driver, clear. Because that means you have successfully passed your competitor and you're moving on to the next one. For LW, he got the lead.
All right, I worked my fanny off to get by James Savali. Now I'm LW Miller. Do I go back into that tire management, tire conservation?
You have to, Jack. You have to start considering saving your tires. Right now, your crew chief needs to give you your lap times. You need to keep an eye in your mirror. You need not to be spinning your tires. You need not to be very aggressive. We still have 110 laps to go. Looks like the rain's going to hold off. Right now, this becomes a tire management race. Just stay far enough ahead of second place that you can maintain and try to win the race. Savali putting the pressure back on him, though.
I was going to say, what I like about this racetrack and what I've seen, and this is my first visit here, is the fact that you do have multiple choices of grooves. And you see that Savali is now just going to shadow LW Miller. And that third position still being held by Brian Lofton. He is about, maybe, a tenth of a second behind. And he's going to have to deal with the 25 of Smith. And look who's starting to make some noise. Jason Myers in fifth. He's rim riding. He's gone down below the white line a couple of times.
Yeah, we saw Bert up to as high as second. And then he just started slipping back. Now his brother, Jason, is coming up. And he seems to be on the bottom of the racetrack with LW used to pass Savali. Savali back to the bottom.
Here we are, side by side. Nerf bars protect the wide tires. But James Savali in the Coors Light Special in the Hill Enterprises car takes the lead for the second time this evening. Now, will LW Miller do the crossover? He tries to do it, and at the stripe, he finishes it in turn one.
Crossover, he's on your inside. Still there, still on your inside. Still there on your inside. Still clear behind him. 2 car lengths back to the next car. Clear.
What do you think?
I think Savali, this is a great race.
Bet, do you think Savali said...
Get away from him, LW.
See, LW was saving his tires from what I heard from his crew chief there. Get away from him. Get away from him. That's what he's trying to do, Jack.
So Miller accomplishes it. James Savali drops to second. Brian Lofton steady in third. Smith and Myers round out the top 5. Here at Tri County Motor Speedway, we've got some honored guests up on the hill going into turn number 3. To the right there, you see Kelly Earnhardt. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s sister, the daughter of Dale Earnhardt Sr., who says that Sprint Cup people don't like to come watch some good modified racing. And we've got some dandy stuff going here. We have not moved to a side-by-side battle. They have swapped the lead back and forth. It is a Miller and Savali show. But Jason Myers says, hey, I want a piece of the action. He's back there in third.
This is just absolutely the best modified race I've seen in a long time. These guys have swapped the lead back and forth a minimum of 4 times, Jack.
We had one major retiree when we were in break, and that is the 40 car. And we'll get an update from Kelly Stavitz on that. But first, let's watch and see if Myers can get the best on the inside of the 38. Myers down an entire lane and a half, but then he washes out and can't carry that speed as he gets to the start-finish stripe.
But he's been running that line all night long. I was watching him start back. He was about a second behind those guys, and he just kept using that lower groove, not getting loose up off, as you see right there, just staying under the power and being able. Now he passes LW, moves into second position. So he has been really saving this car, and it looks like it's paying off right now.
Let's go down to Kelly Stavitz and get an update on a guy that was running up front for quite some time till he went to pit road, and that is Frank Fleming. Kelly?
Frank Fleming in the number 40 car. They had the right rear trailing arm broke on the car, so they're done. And this is a real shame. This is a guy who's won a lot of races here in the 80s and 90s. He told me that he loves coming here, was so excited to come back, and that he's had such good luck here. But that luck ends tonight as the 40 is retired, Jack.
The one constant in the battle for the front has been James Savali. First it was LW Miller, and now it is Jason Myers, who has taken over the lead momentarily. And look who has battled back from about his 10th starting spot, the kid from West Babylon, New York.
Yeah, but wait a minute now. You told me he pitted, made major adjustments. Whatever they made, Jack, has paid off. This guy's starting to stick his nose in the mix. This is impressive.
Hey, let's give him his props. Before he went to the Wheel and Modified Tour in the North, he was the champion here 1 year ago. And he could really muck up the works if he keeps running the way he is now.
Jack, I'm wondering if the Savali and Miller car didn't abuse their tires a little bit earlier the first 50 laps of this race. And Brumholzer making the chassis adjustment. And then Jason Myers saving his car. Is that the difference we're seeing right now? Both these guys are really moving around the racetrack.
Oh, boy.
That's just playing loose. That's using your tires. This has hurt them guys, believe this or not. This has come back to haunt them. That extra 2 or 3 tenths faster lap, Jack.
Now, look at Brunhosel. Little George, I think, has got better tires because if you look at this gaggle of cars, and meanwhile, Myers has taken off to about a half-second lead. This battle for second, Brunhosel is the most stable of those 3 cars we're watching.
Yeah, and we see Miller.
See, here he goes. To the inside, he can make it stick.
And Miller's just protecting. He's getting a little bit looser and looser and looser. There he is, loose again. And the thing is that this is what these guys have done. They have saved that little bit of aggressiveness to give them a reward. And now Myers has pulled away to about a second lead already. So, you know, can Brumholzer get by and close the gap up?
And what about Johnny Smith, the orange car, the 25? He's right in there. Meanwhile, we're getting a little bumper tapping going on. Savali wanted to let L.W. Miller know that he's got Brunhosel on the inside in that 28 car, and it's time to go yet again.
Jackie, I think what we ought to do...
Oh, look at Johnny Smith. Tries to make it stick on the inside. Halfway down the back straightaway. Can he get the best of the 28? Brunhosel on the high side. Smith rim riding out of the turn. This is the battle for the 4th position. Who gets it?
Lap car in the way is going to block all
but
of
you got room,
advances.
Jimmy. You got room on this racetrack. Oh, Savali has the door closed by Kreitz in the 15. Darrell Kreitz didn't see him maybe and started to come up.
Now Kreitz has moved over, said let the leaders go here. You have to give him respect. Jack, you know what I think? I think we need to run here weekly. This is absolutely the best modified race that I've seen in years.
We'll run weekly here if I can own the car and you drive it.
Oh, I'll gladly drive it anytime. You get me a good car, I'm coming back. But what we see, Savali and Miller, even though Jason Myers has pulled away to a big lead, these guys still have the points on their mind, Savali and Miller. That's a 5-point difference.
Yeah, but I am impressed at just how hard these guys are racing each other. This was at one time the battle for the lead. Now it is just a battle for second position. You'd think this was the Daytona 500 the way they're going after it.
And what's interesting, Jack, this is only lap 85, 65 laps to go.
Savali got sideways there in the corner in the 79. Miller is starting to try and pinch him down, and Savali just rooted his way up there.
Now Smith's getting by Brumholzer.
It's Brunhosel. Brunhosel.
I know George really well.
I know you do. That's why we have.
Oh, Savali and look at this. Savali and Miller not happy with one another.
Payback.
Look at this. Oh no! Now it opens the door for Smith and Brumholzer.
Here's what happens when you get ticked off. You lose focus, and the beneficiary of all that was the 25. John Smith moves into second place. He tangles now with L.W. Miller. Hey, the gloves have taken off here. This is some knockdown, drag-out racing.
Well, I think right now Miller's not really worried about Smith or Brumholzer. I think what he's really worried about is just keeping Savali back. And in turn, it's actually costing positions right now.
Let's reset the field. Jason Myers has now moved to about a 3 or 4 second lead over this gaggle of cars. John Smith now in second, and he is in that orange car. L.W. Miller slipping and sliding in the 38. He is in the 36 is in the 3rd spot. George Brunhosel, the 3rd, has moved up to 4th. James Savali has faded to 5th. Andy Seiss, by the way, who went to the back after an early spin, has moved into 6th position. His points aspirations are starting to get heated up yet again. We have just gone beyond the halfway mark. 89 laps have been completed. Now it'll be all about tires here in the Tri County 150.
The weather in New England might be cooling down, but the points battle in the Whelen Modified Tour is heating up. The CarQuest Fall Final might determine the 2010 championship. It all happens right here October 6th on Versus.
And it indeed will be the next to last race for the Northern, the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. And you talk about the points battle here, Jimmy. It's a torrid points battle up in the north as well. And all of a sudden, with what happened at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, an early retiree by Ted Christopher, and our buddy, the 16, Mike Stefanik, back in the hunt as well. So you want to be with us 1 week from now to take a look at that. And then, of course, the World Series at Thompson. Meanwhile, we need to get an update on what has happened to James Savali, one of our leaders, in terms of tire wear, because as we have now reached the final 50 laps of this event, everybody has settled down a little bit, Kelly, but this guy, Jason Myers, looking for his first victory, he seems to have the better of everybody, including points leader Savali.
Well, and that's right. Remember, we saw James Savali leading late into the race at Langley, and then he lost his tires a little bit too early. We saw him pushing hard with L.W. Miller early in this race leading, but he had an interesting thought. He said, you know, when you're out front, you're always second-guessing yourself on just how hard you need to push it to stay in the lead without letting those tires go away. We've seen him fall back in the pack now, and you got to kind of wonder, with Myers leading out front now, he's got a pretty good gap, but at what cost? How much tire has he lost getting that gap out in the lead?
I begin to think that Jason Myers has not been challenged at all after he made the run to the front. He stays out front. Got to give kudos to John Smith, solidly in the second. But here's, as you look at Myers, he's going on lap driving. He can go on the high side. He can go on the low side. I don't see him abusing his tires. Do you?
He is not abusing his tires. He has stayed on the bottom. He is rolling the corner. We talked about it earlier on our opening. You have to roll the corner, wait to put your throttle down. Very determined, very patient driver right now. Is paying off.
Do you see the new hood application on those cars? It's so neat, but you want to know what's underneath that hood?
Big power.
A Roush Fenway Ford. Roush Yates power plant for the Myers brothers. And I was down in the infield during practice, and with all due respect, a Ford has got a growl to it.
They rumble, there's no doubt. We've seen this sport really advance. It used to all just be the small block Chevy. But what we're seeing now more and more is some Fords joining in. And also, there's some Dodge engines also looking to get into this sport.
Here's the guy that during the week reports to Richard Childress Racing, the driver of the number 25 from Mount Airy, North Carolina, John Smith. A great ride. All these Southern Modified Tour races that have been on versus John Smith has always been a player, but has never been able to get into the a podium position. Tonight he's doing a fine job as he is now being posted in the second spot. And what about Andy Seiss right behind Smith?
He went to the rear of the field.
You see him down low there.
He spun out early. We talked about he was first caution, and he has battled his way back. Reminds me a little bit about the Northern Tour where Priest spun out at Riverhead and come back to get second.
That's right.
But I want to get back to the 25 of John Smith. I was talking to him earlier, and he told me, Jimmy, all during practice I had the oldest set of tires I could put on the car. I was more concerned knowing that we couldn't put tires on what I could get my car adjusted. Right now, he is closing in on Jason Myers, putting the pressure on.
By the way, you may be wondering where last week's winner in Langley, the Langley winner, Tim Brown. Tim Brown, during the week, works for Michael Waltrip Racing, was intending to race here and entered here, then got a call from his boss, Michael Waltrip, told to report to Phoenix International Raceway, where Michael Waltrip Racing are testing their Toyotas in preparation for the chase for the championship. Tough break for Brown.
It's definitely a tough break, especially you hate to be a driver that gets that duty calls. And, you know, these guys aren't professionals, but professional drivers.
Look at this.
Not for a living, but here's
we're starting to heat up action again for the lead.
On the Myers man.
Myers a little bit high. Now let's see. You see the nose start to hunt on the 25. He's got to get that tamed if he's going to be able to make the inside move. But what would you do if you were Jason Myers right now?
Right now what he's doing is telling him, he bumped him there a little bit. He says, listen, I'm here. Give me a little room to race you. This is the key to a modified. Hey, I'm here. I'm going to race you. Give me some room. That's what Myers is doing right now. He is respecting Smith.
Now, this is okay. When we did Bowman Gray, you had a little tap, 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 get guys sideways. You're going a lot faster here. Now, look who says,
wait a minute. How about Seiss getting in here?
Yeah.
Where'd this news come from?
Not Seuss, that's Seiss. He was reading the book.
Hey, Jackie, you know, I'm hoping for grandkids someday, so I'm getting ready. I thought this was Dr. Seuss's nephew. Here it is, Andy Seiss, not Andy Seuss. Andy getting very loose. Caution on the back straightaway.
That is the 0 car of Greg Butcher. He was a couple of laps down. Let's see if it brings out the caution. So far, it has not.
No, it has not brought the caution out. Boy, the drivers were hoping for the caution. Myers gets away from Smith and Seiss. That was another caution.
That is the 78 car, and that will bring out the Pale Silks.
That is
Donnie Lax. Donnie Lax brings the car out, and if I am Jason Myers right now, when I go by, I go, hey, I owe you one, dude.
Yeah. I think all the drivers needed this break right now, because this is a good time to realize get some brake adjustments, things like that. Get your car adjusted for the last 30 laps, 20 laps.
And with 122 laps in the record books, now it's short track Saturday night, just like you used to race. There are only a few laps to go right here. Hey, there is a brand new show premiering this Friday on Versus at 9 o'clock. It's called Gunning It with Benny Spies. And guess what? Benny is trackside with our own Kelly Stavitz.
And Jack, it's a hunting show, but Benny, I hear it's a whole new hunting show. What makes Gun It different?
Gun It it's totally different. I grew up hunting in South Dakota. I grew up fishing. I grew up in the outdoors. And what we believe in is a whole story. We want to tell a story. We know that there's fun things to do before the hunt. We always include an amazing hunt, but there's also entertainment afterwards. It's a full story. It's characters, it's small towns, it's fun people, it's great places, and that's what we're all about. It's loud down here.
And a little bit of racing involved too, right?
We do. We drive around the countryside in a 1973 Winnebago Brave, and we take her racing. Take her racing a lot.
That is brave. All right, everybody, watch out for Gun It.
Gun It.
Gun It with Benny Spice starting this Friday at 8 o'clock on Versus.
I don't know,
Yes, it is.
Jimmy.
Watch it.
That kind of sounds like my dating record, you know?
That reminds me of when we used to hunt with my uncles in Pennsylvania. It was fun. I'm looking forward to that show. That's my type of
Hey,
hunting.
watch who's going to go hunting right now.
11 lead changes, Jackie. Already
11 lead
11.
changes, but Brunhosel and the 47. They're going to apply the pressure here on this lead tandem of Jason Myers and John Smith. Myers gets loose, opens the door for just a minute on Seuss. Zeiss.
And then look at this. Here comes Brumholzer on the outside, taking the groove as Myers gets a little loose. That opens the door up for George, and George moves into second.
John Smith makes it a 12th different lead change. George Brunhosel wants to make it a 13th different lead change. And the guy that was leading before the caution, Jason Myers, has now faded. Zeiss is on the high side. He's trying to get that position to move into third spot.
And Myers very, very loose, gives the room to the outside of Andy Zeiss. Andy's making up points here because Miller's back to 7th, 6th, and Savali back to 8th. So he's gaining ground here with less than 15 laps to go. I'm sorry, with 20 laps to go.
Now, watching these cars, the way they're slipping and sliding, you talked about at the top of the show that you had to conserve your tires. There's nothing left to conserve. What is Jimmy's?
There is, Jackie. There's still tires to conserve because the harder you try now, the slower you're going to go yet. So even though they are slipping and sliding, you still have to be patient with the throttle, Jackie. It's very critical at this point in the race.
Now, why, if the leader, I noticed that John Smith is starting to do just what Andy Zeiss is doing, just what Myers is doing, trying to stay hugging down on the low side.
Trying to exit the corner as straight as they can off. Caution flag again.
It looks as if
Back straight away.
it may be the 78.
It's the second time.
Donnie Lax again.
Jackie, the big thing is what you're seeing these guys. Why they're doing is staying on the bottom of the racetrack. They're trying to keep the car as straight as they can and drive it, let it take its head to the wall, not letting the car slip and slide as they put the power to it. I'm excited about this here restart coming up. Double file, I love this. This is the 13 lead changes.
Yeah, but here's the key. See the guy weaving back and forth in row number 2? Dr. Seuss's nephew, Andy Zeiss.
Andy Zeiss.
Makes the drive. Drove all the way down from New Hampshire yesterday afternoon to drive this car. He was recommended by Junior Miller to take over this ride a couple of years
Past
ago.
champion,
Yeah.
Junior Miller.
And this kid is just beaming. He said, I wish I'd flown down with you guys. And I said, well, I'm just glad I didn't have to drive from New Hampshire in the truck with you. But watch him, because this is one smart character, and flanking him on the outside is take no prisoners Jason Myers, who wants to get back in that point position.
And think back, Zeiss went all the way to the rear of the field. Now he's running third, has a shot at winning this race in this restart.
A little loose, and Brunhosel does do a better job of maintaining on the high side. Gets the advantage and then goes, way wide. Almost hits the wall. Car is crossways. He can't gather it back in. Looks like maybe he had a tire go down. It has created havoc through the corner. Everybody does a scatter, but the green continues to fly, and we are 8 laps away from the finish. Look at Myers on the inside of Zeiss. The red numeral black #1.
That is Bert Myers, not Jason. So Bert Myers, as this guy sat back this whole race and saved his tires. As we have less than 7 laps to go, he's starting to show his hand. This guy comes out of nowhere on this restart.
Brunhosel limping back to pit road as the leaders pass him into turn number 3. And Smith looks in his rearview mirror and he says, how many laps? How many laps? Smitty, I'll tell you. Looking on the outside, he is attacking. That is one of the Myers brothers just going after, and whoa!
What a crossover! Absolutely impressive. He has saved his tires. I have to tell you, I am impressed with what Bert Myers has done tonight, taking the lead with 5 laps to go.
34 years old. He is a professional race car driver, driving the Capital Bank Ford. That, too, is a Fenway-powered car, Roush Fenway, Robert Yates Roush engine under the hood, Ford power, and it is growling right now.
Jackie, we talked about it earlier. This guy drops back to 10th position with about halfway through the race. You have to admire a driver that can be that patient with his race car and save it to the end. Now he starts to pull away by some 6 to 8 car lengths.
6 wins in his 9-year career. He has 34 top 5s. His last win came at Martinsville a year ago, almost to the day, September 27th, 2009.
This is a brand new Troyer car. This was a car they had in the stable, and they sent it to Troyer and had it completely rebuilt.
Myers has about a 1.5-second lead over John Smith. As he comes out of turn number 4, he will see the pale silk, the white flag, signifying he has just 1 circuit left to go. L.W. Miller being shown in the 6th position. Now he has dropped to 9th position. This is going to have points ramifications, but the checkered flag is out. It is being displayed to 34-year-old Bert Myers of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, has won this race. Smith, a podium finish. Seiss battles back from the back to finish in 3rd. Brandon Heyer and James Savali round out the top 5.
Very impressed with tonight with this race.
Oh, you can see L.W. Miller is still steaming about what happened earlier in the race. Not at all pleased. Easy, boys.
These guys are really getting it on early. To me, they didn't use common sense, and it ended up costing them because they didn't save their equipment. Didn't save it. There's the winner.
And that guy did save the equipment, and we'll hear from him in victory lane next, right here on Versus. Well, you knew, Jimmy, it wasn't going to take long. People are already calling this the best modified race south of the Mason-Dixon line in 15 years. Let's meet the winner. He's getting out of his car. Here's Kelly Stavitz.
Bert Myers and his crew celebrating his first win of the season, and it couldn't come at a better time, as he is one of those 5 drivers still mathematically alive in this championship race. But Bert, you told me before the start that you thought you had a car for the long run that would be good in the long run. We saw you kind of moving up and down through the field. What was your strategy?
Well, you know, I just tried to fish around all I could, and this track is just so abrasive on the tires. And I tried to wait and buy my time all I could, and we came in and made an adjustment, and man, it just set the thing on fire. And we were able to make a 3-wide move over here on the backstretch, and I think that's what opened the door for us. But I can't thank these guys enough. We came and tested last week, and, you know, everybody puts everything they've got into these race cars and keeping them going. And, you know, I want to thank Capital Bank, Cumbernauld, Flat Rock Grill. Lord, there's so many people that make this thing work, but to Wellen and everybody that came out. This is a great crowd here tonight, and I'm ecstatic to get this first win of the season.
There at the end of the race, those couple last moves, did you just have more tire left than the rest of the guys?
I think so. You know, like I said, after I figured out that we didn't have the best car, I tried to buy my time and save some tires so we can come in and make an adjustment and come back through the field. But, you know, I thought we were 66 points out of the lead, you know, and I thought we were out of this thing. And, you know, we were about 8th or 10th, and then next thing you know, I'm sitting in victory lane, so we may not be out of this thing just yet.
Still alive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
He's more than alive. He's alive and kicking. A record-setting 13 lead changes under green, and when it counted, The checkered flag goes to Bert Myers. You got to give kudos to John Smith for his performance.
Ran a great race. Andy Seiss spins out about the third lap, comes back and gets third. But I'm going to remember tonight, Jack, more than anything, the 2 and 3 wide race and so many lead changes, so much activity all night long. You never knew which corner to watch.
And it has made a change in the point standings. It's tightened things up even more. James Savali still on top, but now Andy Seiss just 3 points behind, and L.W. Miller within striking, and Bert Myers, as he said, he's back in it as well. Hey, a reminder, coming up next on Versus, our NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour competition will convene at the Stafford Motor Speedway for the CarQuest Fall Final, and that will air at 7 o'clock Eastern Time next Wednesday night. For Jimmy Spencer, for Kelly Stavix, I'm Jack Arute. If you want more information about all of the Versus programming, please visit Versus.com. Once again, congratulations to our winner in the Tri County 150. Bert Myers has done it.